To eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. It is another messy night with mainly light to moderate rain pushing through the region. And after we get through this, a more significant flooding threat is expected this weekend. Meteorologist Eric Dean has the latest on this first alert weather day. Eric.
Yeah, Steve, here's wave 2 pushing through eastern Kentucky, and we do have that flood watch in effect for the majority of the WYMT viewing area. That goes into effect until Thursday at 7 a.m. Again, that's for all the counties shaded in green. There's live pinpoint Doppler radar. It is lit up like a Christmas tree at 11 o'clock on a Wednesday night. You can see some heavy rain across portions of Perry County going into portions of Leslie County. We'll go ahead and pinpoint this little cell here over towards Hazard and across portions of Leslie County. And you can see right there near the Krypton area south of or north of Hyden, I should say, seeing some heavy rain. The good news is no lightning is being detected. Same story near Oneida, seeing some heavy rain at this time. Temperatures right now are still in the 40s and 50s. We'll see our high for Thursday overnight, and temperatures will fall throughout the day as the cold front pushes through. Overnight low will be 40. You can kind of see how we get there. We go to 50 degrees by the 1 o'clock hour. 7 o'clock will go down to 43 degrees. Now coming up in the first alert forecast, yes, we have a little bit of a break in the rain. It's a small break, and then we have to focus on this weekend. Details on the first alert forecast in a few minutes. Steve.
Okay, can definitely hear the rain on the roof right now here in Hazard. Well, staying ahead of flood risks starts with keeping an eye on those water levels. Alexa Minton talked to Lee County officials today to see how they are getting ready for more rain.
Lee County is one of the many counties that the Kentucky River flows through, and with water already running a little high, locals are starting to get concerned with more rain on the forecast.
Well, you know, Beta was a flood town, you know, and we're always going to be that way, and the folks are pretty well used to that.
Officials in Lee County are closely monitoring the Kentucky River as water levels were already high and grounds were already saturated ahead of this week's weather activity.
Betaville is the Three Forks of the Kentucky River, you know, start right here. It's nothing new for us, because obviously, you know, we're going to have some high water, possibly over some roadways. Areas
along the Kentucky River in Lee County are not only under a flood watch, but a river flood advisory, with the potential to see waters crest into the minor flood zone.
Main thing is just watching it, you know, and we're going to keep an eye on that. We don't want it to sneak up on us in the middle of the night. So, you know, if we feel like that river's going to crest in the middle of the night, we'll be out there watching it and letting folks know.
If you are out on the roads and come across a patch of water, turn around, don't drown, and do your best to remain weather aware in the wet days forecasted ahead.
But folks are used to that, so, you know, for the most part, it's going to come up and it's going to go back down, and we're going to be right back in business. So
in Lee County, I'm First Alert meteorologist Alexa Minton, WKYT.
Now, officials expect the river there to be at its highest around 7 p.m. tomorrow. Now, many other rivers in the area have already crested, but of course could go up again with more heavy rain, especially this weekend. Students in some Kentucky school districts stayed home again today. In Knox County, it's because of high water. The county has used up all its non-traditional instruction days, and everything missed from here on out will have to be made up. Before any days were missed, the last day of school was to be May 19th. It's unclear when that will be at this point. A new bill proposes every Kentucky county should have an emergency houseless shelter. We saw the need for warm places like these last month when temperatures dropped dangerously low. Grayson Passmore spoke to those with One Homeless Coalition, who says this legislation is only a small part of addressing the state's homelessness crisis.
You may see them called white flag or emergency shelters. They're meant to be temporary spaces open to people experiencing homelessness for whatever reason, including the dangerously cold temperatures we saw last month.
Two of them, a couple that was literally couldn't afford fuel in their home. They had a home. They was gone as soon as the weather got back together. And so these wasn't people that we was servicing daily beforehand. These was people that needed a break.
Lexington Representative George Brown Jr. and Shively Representative Beverly Chester Burton co-sponsored House Bill 299. It would require county officials to maintain at least one emergency shelter in their jurisdictions.
At its bare bones, I agree with it. I think there has to be, to provide long-term help, there has to be some pieces to that.
Johnny Tenplin runs the Jessamine County Homeless Coalition. He says the bill could be one part of addressing the homelessness crisis, but he doesn't think many counties can afford to operate them without some type of state funding.
But at the end of the day, the budgeting is not there for it.
Tenplin says a warm, safe place to rest could be the start at a better life for some.
But I truly believe that if the community's behind it, the community will provide that over time. At the end of the day, everybody needs some type of safe shelter.
In Jessamine County, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
And that bill is still in its early stages in committee. A controversial bill introduced in Frankfort would exclude junk food from SNAP benefits. Representative Matt Lockett of Nicholasville filed House Bill 279. He says the SNAP program contributes to the country's obesity and diabetes epidemic. The Kentucky Center for Economic Policy reports nearly 13% of people were enrolled in SNAP benefits in November 2024. In some rural counties like Owsley, as much as about 1/3 of the population was enrolled. A bill to improve school safety is moving forward in the legislature. Landon's Law would require anti-choking devices in schools. It's named after 8-year-old Landon McCubbins, who died in Nelson County in 2022. There was no life vac there the day he choked. The bill passed in the House 92-5 today. It now moves to the Senate. In Bell County, a circuit court judge signed an order taking away the death penalty as an option for Erica Lawson, the mother accused of killing her toddler. Lawson was indicted on murder and several other charges. Her 17-month-old daughter, Elena, died at an East Tennessee hospital in July of 2023. That same year, Kentucky lawmakers changed the eligibility for the death penalty. The murder of a child would have to be proven as intentional. Because of this, the judge ruled the case does not meet the requirements to warrant the death penalty. The man who caused a more than 5-hour standoff with London police and KSB Special Response Team was arraigned this morning. 36-year-old Michael Caldwell is charged with assault and wanton endangerment. During his arraignment in Laurel District Court, a judge detailed Caldwell's prior criminal history, noting he is a convicted felon. Judge John Paul Chappell appointed Caldwell a public defender.
Obviously, you're in serious trouble. I'm leaving the bond, as I previously said, it at $50,000 cash. I'm entering you a plea of not guilty.
A preliminary hearing was set for next Tuesday, February 18th. Kentucky has seen mortality rates increase due to opioid overdoses, but the chances of surviving an overdose could be increasing thanks to a vending machine. WYMT's McKinley Calandrino has the story from Pulaski County.
A vending machine, stocked with products more valuable than what money can buy. A small dream placed in Ashley Barker's heart that now has continued to touch many lives and organizations through the county. The free Narcan machine is placed outside of the Pulaski County Detention Center, stocked weekly with free nasal Narcan for everyone in the community. Narcan is used to reduce opioid overdoses in all ages of life. What used to be a prescription drug only is now available to the hands of many, leaving people with some sort of purpose.
Well, I had to use my Narcan this week. I got to save somebody's life. And I mean, that's just an amazing thing that they're able to do that with something that they can readily get in their hands.
The goal is to save lives to opioid misuse and to educate the community how to successfully use the reverse drug. They believe everyone deserves a chance for recovery, but you can only be saved if you are alive. That is why it is important to have access to these resources.
As long as there's air in their lungs, there is hope for recovery. And that person is someone's father, mother, daughter.
Organizations say one of the most common misconceptions about Narcan is what it is used for.
It's not just for addicts. It's for persons who have forgotten they've taken their medication, or it's for littles who've picked up medication by mistake.
They say they've seen a decrease in overdose and a positive outcome from within the community, and they plan to put more around the county for more accessibility. In Pulaski County, McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
The machines are federally funded by CORE, or the Kentucky Overdose Response Effort. Shaping Our Appalachian Region, or SOAR, hosted a speaker series at the University of Pikeville today, encouraging business students about the future. The event brought in several entrepreneurs discussing the YouTube space, the agricultural world, tech startups, coffee shops, and more, inviting students to hear their struggles and successes as business owners and the importance of planning businesses here in the mountains.
Just start something. That's the name of our club. And so it's really just to get people past the idea stage and to train them and teach them, like, let's just start something. Let's test the water. Let's get going. Like, let's not just overanalyze. We need to do something.
The event also talked about the changing landscape for creators, from AI to social media management. Coming up on Mountain News at 11.